Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Chill. Superstars out. Hey. Brand new cars. We by the bar now. Swaying doors now. Now smash. Shots and goals. Rock the shows. Big bang rolls. Cash. Now she go. For the team. Now she don't ski. Splash. Think about post now on the ground. Man, the leader. Whole gang in the field. We don't do bleachers. Pockets lettuce. Don't think I'm ready. You got that swag. You got that salt, then sell it. Free mind. Cash them out, we bellin'. Saw my teacher, I was the same student fella. Now I got a lawyer. Straight cash, no settlement. I'm out my element. Out my element. My the same. Don't need no clout, no fame. No clout. Bought the game. All brand new chain. Ice. Swerve the lane. Call the group the gang. Put that thing. Whip it. This shit give me. Ooh, yeah. Them boys fool you trying to do it. Bring the. Don't want no. They pull up with that. It's times 3. This how it go. Park $1 million at the. We gon' make 'em eat that until we go. Eat it up. Rich straight to the top floor. More PJs and rich like water, go to Cabo. Splash. Cash in the walls, hollow. Cash. Your money too small, micro. Huncho on the call, gotta. Yeah. Superstars out.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Just as we were ready for air, it was the Colts emerging from the locker room to great fanfare here in Indy. They're ready to go as the Colts get set to match up with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars have Josh Lambo out there to get us started. And we are underway here on EA Sports. Fielded about a yard deep. Gets past one man. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
All right, here we go. Green 39! Green 39!
And they'll go on the ground. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Three down. Hurry up, here we go. 319! 319!
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Good yardage there for the Colts. 18 and a first down. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive. Couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Green 39!
And they'll run it here. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
Hey, here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
From the gun on third down, Manning. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he stopped immediately there. Jamal Sheard on the stop. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Green 39.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Flush to his right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion.
Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
Back to throw here. Eluding the pressure right. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. This is fielded at the 27. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Colts will go on offense here. 1st and 10. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, that'd be into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
Partner, when you're playing cover 2, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Watch it now, Barney.
They'll set up a throw. Flushed out right. Now he'll let it go deep right. He's got a man. Complete. And all the way down to the 37. A big third down play there for the Jags. 41 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
Gun, 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 gun.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Smith catches left side. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
They'll drop to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 21. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Here's Manning to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
To throw is Manning. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll bring up fourth down. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away for the second time. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. But likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll kick it away for the second time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. And now out come the Jags. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try to move the football.
He dumps it underneath for Taylor. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that'll bring up second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL is described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now back to throw. Steps away to his left. Austin Seferian-Jenkins has it. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down.
Detroit!
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's second and 11.
Set! 3-19! 3-19! Watch him now, Barney!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Forced out to his left. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Jags are able to cash in for 6. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. James. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. Actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
Manning to throw on second down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
The Colts on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
How about this offense? Already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Green 39.
They'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. They've got his man complete. And all the way down to the 40-yard line. A big play that time for Jacksonville. 49 yards. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And this time not quite to the 30. He'll be down at the 31-yard line. A nice pickup there, 19 yards. And they're set up better for 3rd. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
39, Lucy.
And he's going to get this one down to the 30. The keeper nets him only a yard, and that's going to bring up 4th.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This would be a critical call.
And they're going to the ground attack here. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. And defensively, they were ready for that. A full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop him short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Pretty shifty footwork, but didn't buy him much. There for the tackle, Blair Brown.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Detroit!
Manning to throw on 2nd down. Going for the deep ball. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? Now he'll throw deep left side. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Gun! 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 Gun!
Looking to throw. Flush to his right. Now he's going to throw it deep. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Blake Bortles as the first half is winding down. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And that'll make the score 14-0. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the Colts coming out now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And now running right through it. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Jaguars out on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Jabal Sheard in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Gun! 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 Gun!
He'll look to throw. Looking left side, he's got a man. That's Smith. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. 23 yards on the play. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
It's a gain of 7, and that'll make this a second down. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. John Simon coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
The Jaguars on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39. Gone, 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 gone. Watching now, Barney.
They'll set up to throw. Eluding the under pressure again, and down he goes again.
And that's the second sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Check 50, check 50. Motion, motion, motion.
Now a handoff working right. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I'll bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the 1st down. They love being physical.
Manning now on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. It's Barry. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he picks up the 1st as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's second and goal.
Leopard! Gun! 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 All right, now, Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now they'll throw it with Manning. And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Colts have got it back to a 1-score game. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard and you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Jaguars getting set to go. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession, and that was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. It's a big play for the Jaguars. And even 40 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Detroit! Detroit! Back 99 Philly. Here we go.
They'll look to throw here. And this is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Blue 90! Detroit! Detroit!
They're going to look to throw. Now he's going to throw deep right side. That's going to be caught. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, second and goal. He'll get it up the middle, and he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. A great effort there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And it's now 21-7. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior. Big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But, you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That good for 22 and a first down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. On 1st down, Manning. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6. The completion on 1st didn't get much, and now the run on 2nd doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big 3rd down play.
Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Barry. A gain of 11 that time and a Colts 1st down. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. That's just his 2nd catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game. They've done a great job of doing that.
Calais Campbell on the stop. On 2nd down, here's Manning. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
And when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
From the gun on 3rd down, Manning. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Dante Fowler. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. They'll roll him out right. Wide open receiver complete. That one goes for 36 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Gun! Now let's go! Green, 3.
They go play action here on 1st down. On the move to his left. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
And this is an absolutely big 3rd down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big 3rd down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Blue, line it! Blue!
They'll set up a throw. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against them offensively. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And the Colts getting ready to go. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And they'll run it here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this.
Leopard! Leopard!
Tight end to the right, boy. Tight end to the right.
Detroit! Detroit!
Alert, alert. 3 down, 3 down.
Gun! 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 Gun!
Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the linebacker, Telvin Smith. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
Now. 319! 319!
That one looks like he'll throw here. Being chased out left. Smith catches left side. Give him 30 yards there. And the young buck showing that ability, that agility to dance outside of the pocket, complete the deep ball.
And don't think for a second that the coaching staff didn't have their heart rate accelerate a little bit there, right? Anytime you have those young quarterbacks and they get outside of the pocket, you're just hoping that they make good decisions, because so many things can happen that can go wrong when you throw it downfield like that.
Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Austin Safarian-Jenkins with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the forced turnover on defense leads to 6 points. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
On 3rd down, Manning going right side here, and that's complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 16 yards to pick up there. The Colts have a first down. Throwing on first down is Manning. Going to throw right side here. Complete. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Colts are able to draw a bit closer.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And on the ground they go with the running back. Oh, able to avoid him. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Elsewhere, a 4th quarter score now from Tampa. The Redskins have scored yet again. They've really opened that one up. If they can hold on to that lead to the end, it would up their win total to 7. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Jacksonville, it's an important win for their postseason hopes as they at least get back to 4-5. And they will head home next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.